The next question. 36. The characteristics of money that makes it the same in size, color, and quality is A. Acceptability, divisibility, durability, homogeneity, portability. The perfect answer to this is homogeneity. What do we mean by homogeneity? When something looks, the same. Ramification. For example, in Nigeria, the 1,000 naira in Ibadan is the same as 1,000 naira in Kano. People, if you collect 1,000 naira in Kano, it's still the same as 1,000 naira in Abuja. You understand? Homogeneity in terms of the size, in terms of the color. That is it. It's homogeneity. It can't be acceptability. We know that, one of the functions of money is general acceptability. So it can't be that. One of the characteristics. Then it is homogeneity. So homogeneity is same size, color, and quality. So the perfect answer to that is D. The next question. 37. The speculative demand for money is the desire to hold money for the purpose of speculative demand. You hold money for 3 purposes. Transactional, speculative, and precautionary motive. You hold money for 3 motives. When you talk about transactional motive, you have your money on you for day-to-day transactions. You can decide to go and buy whatever you want to buy. That is under transactional motive. When you talk about precautionary motive, for unforeseen contingencies, anything can happen anytime. They can say, grandma has died. So, and if grandma needs to be buried as soon as possible, then, as an economist, you ought to have you need some savings aside that you have kept aside for unforeseen contingencies. You understand? So that is precautionary. But when we talk about speculative simply means you've kept some money aside, for investment purposes. So now they said the speculative demand for money is the desire to hold money for the purpose of carrying out daily transactions. No. Conquering the fear of being poor. No. Meeting unforeseen contingencies. This is precautionary. Saving the money. No. Taking advantage of investment opportunities. So that is the perfect answer. Option E. 38. The next question. Inflation can be controlled in Nigeria through A. Amending industrial laws. Encouragement of importation. No. Increase in government expenditure. No. Increase in taxes. Yes. E. Reduction in production. No. When we talk about inflation simply means the persistent increase in the general price level. And when it increases like that, the purchasing power drops. So, one of the things that can make the purchasing power to drop is increase in taxes. When there is increase in tax, the purchasing power will drop. So, and it can be used to control inflation in Nigeria. So, it is increase in taxes. The next question. 39. They said, a normal chain of distribution can be represented as normal chain of distribution. That is from manufacturer to wholesaler, then to retailer and the final consumer. Which one has that? Consumer, retailer? No. Manufacturer, consumer? No. Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. C is the perfect option for that. Manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer and to the final consumer. And note, production is not complete until it reaches the final consumer. It's very important. The next question. 40. Which of the following is not a problem of business finance in Nigeria? It's not a business or it's not a problem. Which of the following is not a problem of business finance? Maybe you need money, and what are the things that you can face? Is it from the bank? Is it from different people that may give you money? Bureaucracy in acquiring loans. Yeah, bureaucracy. After this stage, you meet this person. From this, it is somewhat burdensome. Then collateral security. Yes, not a problem. It's a problem. It's a collateral. Some people, for you to get loan, you need collateral. And without collateral, they'll say you don't have access to the fund. So it's a major problem of business finance in Nigeria. Then high interest rate. Some people, their interests, may be killing. And you'll be saying, how am I going to repay it? Because what's the point? You want to do business. So, and if you are earning, if you need money They're supposed to keep the loss to the barest minimum. So high interest rate is a major problem of business finance in Nigeria. Then high level of illiteracy. Yes, high level of illiteracy is another problem too, because you need to know how to make money, how to manage it and multiply. How to make money, how to manage it, and how to multiply. So, but some people that are not literate, you know, they won't be able to maximize the money with them, and at the end of the day, they have problem. Low interest rate is not a problem. You know, it's not a problem. So, which of the following is not a problem of business finance? It is low interest rate. Every other option, A, B, C, D, they are problem of business finance in Nigeria. So, low interest rate is a perfect option. The next question. 41. The satisfaction a consumer derives from the consumption of a particular commodity at a given period is dash utility. What do we mean by utility? Utility is the power of a good to give satisfaction. It's as simple as that. Utility is the power of a good to give satisfaction. But we have different types of utility. We have the form utility, we have place utility, you know, name it. Now, we have form utility. They are now saying the satisfaction a consumer derives from the consumption of a particular commodity at a given period. At a given period. Seeing the given period in that question, you know they are talking about the time. So, if you check these options very well, form utility, marginal utility, place utility, time utility, total utility. So, the perfect option, so that is time utility. All right, question 42. A rational consumer maximizes utility at a point where a rational consumer maximizes utility at a point where mu of x over price of x equals to mu of y over price of y. And if you look at this option very well, price of x over mu of x, no. Mu of x over price of x, no. No. Mu of x over price of equals to mu of y. Marginal utility of x over price of x equals to marginal utility of y over price of y. That is where the consumer maximizes utility. No. So the correct option to that, question number 42, is D. The next question. If the cross elasticity of demand is negative, cross elasticity of demand is negative, the goods involved are, if the cross elasticity of demand is negative, the goods involved are negative. We have negative and we have positive. Negative, you can understand this by using examples. Cross elasticity of demand is actually the percentage change in price. You know, how did the response to change in price of one commodity, how the change in price of one commodity affect the quantity demanded for another commodity. That is cross elasticity of demand. How change in price of one commodity affect the demand for another commodity. For example, Bonvita and Milo. If there is a change in price of Bonvita, how does it affect the demand for Milo? Now, they are now asking, if the cross elasticity of demand is negative, the goods involved are, if it is negative, what do we mean by negative? That means they are not moving in the same direction. When one is going up, the other is coming down. When the price of Bonvita increases, we know that the demand for Bonvita automatically will come down. And the demand for Milo, it will go up. That is positive. That is positive. And that is not what they are talking about here. Demand, if the price of Bonvita is up, then the quantity demanded for Milo will also increase. Because people will not buy Bonvita that has increased price. They rather go for Milo. So that is positive, because when one is up, the other one is up. And the positive impact is on what? On the goods that are substitute. But when you talk about complementary goods or jointly demanded commodities, you understand? It is negative. It is negative. Because when the price of meat, when the price of car is high, the demand for petrol will come down. So it is complementary. It is complementary goods. Complementary. It has a negative impact. So if the crisis of demand is negative, the goods involved are complementary goods. The next question. 44. Government spending is categorized into capital and dash expenditure. Government spending is categorized into capital and dash expenditure is capital and recurrent expenditure. It's capital and recurrent expenditure. The next question. Which of the following is the formula used in calculating net national product? Net national product. That is a gross national product minus depreciation. That is how to calculate the NNP. GNP minus depreciation will give us net national product. It can be, no, it is GNP minus depreciation. It will give us net national product. The next question, 46. The difference between personal income and tax deducted is known as personal income, and tax deducted is known as disposable income. When you are given a particular income and they remove tax from it, the remaining amount you have on you is called disposable income. So your income minus tax equals to disposable income, because it is the leftover you will have access, opportunity to spend on whatever you want to spend after removing the tax. So it is called disposable income. Question number 47. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was established in the year A, 1999, 2000. It was in the year 2002, during the reign of Obasanjo. You understand? It was in 2002. So the perfect answer to that is option C, 2002. The next question, 48. The effect of adopting a new technology in a country on its production possibility curve. The effect of adopting a new technology in a country on its production possibility curve will be shown by, new technology. It will shift the production possibility curve outward. That is production possibility curve. It will shift it outward because it will increase the capacity, of production. It will increase it. So thereby it shifts it outward. So adopting a new technology. A, movement along the PPC. No. Movement within the PPC. No. If it is movement within, it is inefficient. You understand? Inward shift of the... No. Outward shift. It is outward shift of the PPC. That is the perfect answer. When you adopt new technology to shift it outward. The next question, 49. The real cost of a tractor purchased by agricultural community is the real cost of a tractor purchased by an agricultural community. Real cost of a tractor purchased by an agricultural. What do we mean by real cost? Real cost simply means opportunity cost. And opportunity cost is still the same as alternative forgone. What did you sacrifice to be able to get a particular thing? That is what they are talking about when they talk about real cost. They are now saying the real cost of a tractor purchased by an agricultural community is the A, amount spent to acquire it, B, amount spent on maintenance of the tractor. No. Large pool of unemployed casual workers. Yes. Cost of buying diesel for the tractor. No. All this one, amount spent to acquire it. No, that's not the real cost. Amount spent to acquire it is the money cost. The money you actually spend to acquire it, to buy it. Amount spent on maintenance. No, that's not it. But large pool of unemployed casual workers. Because if you did not buy the tractor, you would have actually employed, the workers. If you did not buy the tractor, you would have. So you sacrificed large pool of unemployed workers, at the expense of buying the tractor. So that is the perfect answer. Large pool of unemployed workers is the real cost of a tractor purchased by an agricultural community. Then the next question. Now, before solving this, I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of content that is so valuable to you to have that desired course in your forthcoming exam. So make sure you subscribe to this channel now, and remember to turn on the notification bell. The next question, 50. The factor of production that is rewarded for risk bearing is A, land, B, labor, C, capital, D, entrepreneur. The factor of production that is rewarded for risk bearing is what? Is entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. If I set up a business, it may work, it may not work. I'm the one that will bear the risk. You understand? So, and if you start a business too, the same thing happens. You just need to, to bear the risk Because to be an entrepreneur, you must always bear risk. So the factor of production that is rewarded for risk bearing is entrepreneur. It can be capital, it can be labor, it can be land. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. All right. A free enterprise economy may be preferred to other economic systems because it's a free enterprise economy may be preferred to other economic system because it's now a free enterprise economy. What is a free enterprise economy? A free enterprise economy simply means a kind of privatization. You understand? Where you'll be able to start your business and run it the way you want to run it. So if you look at this option, gives government total control of economic activities, it cannot be because it is not central economic system and ensures equitable distribution of income. No. C, makes citizens and governments owners of the factors of production. Citizens and government. It is not mixed economy. So that cannot also be the answer. Then D, rewards efficiency and innovation. Very good. Rewards efficiency and innovation. It goes with free enterprise economy. Like I told you, privatization. Like what we are doing now, the YouTube, because we don't just want to be conventional. Instead of us to be teaching the students in class physically, we decide to also go on YouTube so that people globally can see what we are doing and you are learning. And I believe as you are also learning from this platform, you know we are doing a great job. So when you talk about a free enterprise economy, it's also a kind of privatization. So, and if you look at it very well, it is preferred to other economic systems because it rewards efficiency and innovation. You know, if you have your own business, you can bring in efficiency, it will be efficient, and at the same time, you bring in creativity. The bags of rice in kilogram produced by a group of farmers are 20, 40, 20, 28, 20, 30, 2018, 40, 24, 18, and 15. What is the mode? What is the mode? What do we mean by mode? Mode simply means the number, the figure, with the value that occur most. You know, the value that occurs most. That is mode. It appears the most. And if you look at this, you have to check those numbers, 20, 40, 20. You look at it. Which one occur most? You understand? Which among the numbers is the most occurring? Now, 20, 40, 20, 28, if you check it very well, we discover that 20 appear how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. All right. Which other one seems appear, 40 appear just 2 times. 28 appear just 1 time. 30 appear. From this question, you will discover that the one that occur most is 20. So looking at this, the best option, the correct option is option B, 20 kilogram. That is the mode. The next question, 53. One fact that does not determine the demand for a commodity is they said one fact that does not determine the demand for a commodity is now there are many factors that affect demand. There are many factors like price of other related commodities, advertisement, population, government policy, name it. They affect. And you know that demand, the higher the price, the lower the quantity that will be demanded, or the lower the price, the higher the quantity that will be demanded. So there are many factors that can affect demand because price, for example, if it is low, then you'll be able to buy more. If it is less, you understand, you'll be able to buy more. And if it is high, you buy lower. So considering this question, they said one factor, that's typographical error, that does not determine the demand for a commodity is the taste of the consumer can actually cause the demand curve either to move up or down. That is the taste of the consumer can affect it. Because if your taste is in favor of a particular commodity, many people will buy more. But if your taste is against a particular commodity, people will buy less of that commodity. Now, price of related commodities can also affect. For example, related commodities like Bonvita and Milo. If the price of Bonvita is high, people will buy less of Bonvita and they will rather go for Milo that has a lower price. So it will surely affect too. Then price of the commodity can also affect demand because when the price is high, people will buy less. And when the price is less, people will buy more. Then change in production technology. This is not part of the option. This is not correct. But we can see that A, B, and C are factors that affect demand, except change in production technology. So one factor that does not determine the demand for a commodity is the change in production technology. So option D is the correct option. Question number 54. A demand curve which is parallel to the price axis has price elasticity of which price elasticity? Which has parallel, which is a demand curve which is parallel to the price axis. Now, if you don't understand the meaning, if you don't know the meaning of parallel, you won't be able to get this answer correctly. And I think with the help of graph or diagram, you can get the correct answer. This is the quantity, and this is the price axis, and this is the origin. Now, they said a demand curve which is parallel to the price. We know that this is the price side. And if something is parallel to it, it's just like this. You understand? This is the demand curve. This is the demand curve. This is, this is the interpretation of this question. They are now saying a demand curve which is parallel to the price axis has price elasticity of what? And if you look at it very well, this is what is called perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. And what does it mean? It simply means that the price is changing. If the price is rising, the quantity remains the same no matter how the price increases. And for example, the kind of goods that fall under perfectly inelastic demand are kind of commodity or goods that are meant for survival. For example, maybe somebody is about to die and they said, okay, you should get a part of blood. And you know that one part of blood was being sold for 5,000 naira before, but on getting there, they now said it's now 20,000. But because you want the person to survive, you don't have choice than to buy it. So that kind of goods under the for survival can be categorized under perfectly inelastic demand. So as the price is going up, the quantity demanded still remain the same. So it is perfectly inelastic. So now, going back to the question, a demand curve which is parallel to the price axis has price elasticity of what? Equal to 1. It's not equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, it will be unitary. You understand? Because the rate of change of price will be equal to the rate of change in quantity demanded. So that cannot be the answer. Equal to 0. Equal to 0. Yeah, that seems to be the answer because the quantity demanded does not change. And in some textbook, if you don't see perfectly inelastic demand, you can call it zero elastic demand. So that is the answer, equal to 0. It can be equal to infinity. No, and it is not greater than 1. So the perfect answer to this question, parallel to the price axis, has price elasticity of what? Equal to 0. So option B is the correct answer. The next question, 55. When more of a tax on a good is borne by the seller than the buyer, demand for this good is dash. When more of a tax on a good is borne by the seller than the buyer, demand for this good is, if, this is under the tax incidence. You understand? Who bears the burden more? Is it the seller or the buyer? But we know that if a product is inelastic, you understand? If it is inelastic, that means the buyer will not have choice. Then even if they increase the price, you will still buy it because you don't really have a choice. But if it is elastic, by the time they increase the price, the buyer will be saying, no, this price is too much. Then you decide to go for another thing. That means it is elastic. But if it is inelastic, you don't have choice than to buy it. So they are now saying, when more of a tax on a good is borne by the seller, then automatically you will know that it is fairly elastic. Because if you put more tax on a particular good that is fairly elastic, the person that will bear the burden will be the seller. So they now said, when more of a tax on a good is borne by the seller than the buyer, demand for this good is fairly elastic. It can be perfectly inelastic. It cannot be perfectly elastic. It can be fairly, it is fairly elastic. Because care must be taken to increase price, that has a kind of fairly elastic nature. So if it is fairly elastic, the buyer, the seller must be careful about placing his price. Else, he will be the one to bear the burden. So the perfect answer to that is option A. The next question, 56. If the demand for a normal goods unit price elastic, okay, if the demand for a normal good unit price is elastic, other things being equal, a fall in its price will lead to, if the demand for a normal, let's solve this with graph. If the demand for a normal goods unit price, I think if the demand for a normal good is unitary elastic, other things being equal, a fall in its price. If it is a unit elastic, we said that the rate of change of price will be the same with quantity demanded. The rate of change of price, let's assume that this is 10 naira, this is 20 naira. Then this is 20 and this is 40. The difference between this will be the same as this. And this is quantity demanded. Now, they're now saying all that things being equal. A fall in its price. A fall in its price. What happens if there is a fall in its price? Then it will lead to a reduction in quantity demanded. Yes. Leave total revenue unchanged. Yes. Decrease demand by a smaller percentage. Leave quantity demanded unchanged. What will happen? It will leave quantity demanded unchanged. The perfect answer to that is D. Leave quantity demanded unchanged. Because the rate of change of price is the same thing as the rate of change of quantity demanded. So it will leave it unchanged because it has the same thing. It is 1. The next question. 57. If a commodity has no substitutes, its demand will most likely be dash. If a commodity has no substitute, its demand will most likely be perfectly elastic, infinitely elastic, fairly elastic, perfectly inelastic. It will be perfectly inelastic because you don't have choice. All you have to do is just to go for it. So it is perfectly inelastic. Option D. 58. If an increase in the supply of a commodity X leads to an increase in the supply of commodity Y, then commodities X and Y are in A, competitive supply, B, joint supply, C, composite supply, D, fixed supply. If you look at it very well, increase in the supply of a commodity X leads to an increase in the supply of commodity Y. And a perfect example to this is a computer, for example. If there is an increase in the supply of computers, then automatically there will be an increase in the supply of softwares. They are jointly supplied commodity because they go together. One will not function perfectly without the other. So if an increase in the supply of commodity X leads to an increase in the supply of commodity Y, then commodity X and Y are in joint supply. Joint supply. It can be competitive supply, it can be composite supply, it can be fixed supply, it can be joint supply because one will function very well when the other is in place. And the example I gave, computer and software, the more computers you buy, the more software you install. So they are jointly supplied commodity. The next question, 59. The law of supply states that all other things remaining constant, as the price of a commodity falls, it's the law of supply. We know the law of demand. The law of demand, the higher the price, the lower the quantity that will be demanded. And the supply law says the more the price, the more the quantity the producer or the seller will be willing to offer for sale. Now, let's go back to the question. As the price of a commodity falls, definitely its supply will fall because they move in the same direction. And when you talk about demand, the law of demand, when the price is going up, quantity demanded comes down. That one has a negative relationship. You understand? They are not moving in the same direction. But when you consider the law of supply, they move in the same direction. When the price is high, quantity supply will be high. When the price is low, quantity supply will be low. So which one now is our correct option? Quantity supply decreases. The law of supply says that all other things remaining constant. As the price of a commodity falls, its quantity supply decreases. That's the perfect answer. It can't increase. Quantity supply increases. No. Supply increases. Supply decreases. No. You know, don't make mistake. It is the quantity that must decrease, not just the supply. So quantity supply decreases. The next question. 60. If an individual consumes more units of a good, if an individual consumes more units of a good, total utility is, what is a utility? Like I said, utility simply means the power of good to give satisfaction. When you take a particular commodity, how satisfied are you when you take it? For example, if I'm just coming and I'm thirsty, the first bottle of Coke will give me more satisfaction, followed by the second bottle, then the third bottle. By the time I'm on the fourth bottle, I'll be tired. The marginal utility will actually tend negative. Now, you should know that the marginal utility tends to decrease. But in the long run, the total utility increases. They are now asking, if an individual consumes more unit of a good, total utility, what happens to total utility? Okay, they now say total and average utility will rise. No. Total utility and marginal utility will rise. No. Marginal utility can never increase. Marginal utility will decrease. Because as you are taking more bottles of Coke, maybe you are thirsty, the first one will give you more satisfaction compared to the second one. They're followed by the third one. Automatically, marginal utility decreases because that is the extra satisfaction you gain from consuming one more unit of a particular product. So this cannot be the correct option. Then C, total utility rises. Yes. Marginal utility declines. That is the perfect answer. The marginal utility will decrease, but the total utility rises. What is the total utility? That is the total of all the enjoyment, all the utilities that you have actually enjoyed. So that is the correct option. Total utility rises as marginal utility declines. Total utility cannot decline. And marginal utility, no. So the perfect option is option C. Total utility rises and marginal utility declines. The next question. What is the effect of imposing price floor in the market? Price floor simply means how government regulates the prices. So that, there won't be hoarding, there won't be excess charges, It is the effect of price on quantity demanded by people. Now, what is the effect of imposing price floor? What is price floor? There's something we call price floor in economics, and we also have price ceiling. And that can also be explained by the use of diagram or graph. This is quantity. This is the price. This is the origin. This is the quantity demand. And this is supply curve. Now, we know that this is equilibrium. That point where the quantity demanded equals to quantity supply is equilibrium. This is equilibrium quantity. And this is the equilibrium price. Now, if a government decides to place price below the equilibrium price, we call it price ceiling. This is price ceiling. You understand? We call this price ceiling. And if government decides to place price above the equilibrium price, we call it price floor. Price floor. So the minimum price can be set above the equilibrium price, or the maximum price can be set below the equilibrium price. Now, what is the effect of imposing a price floor in the market? Which one is price floor? Price floor is the one here. You understand? We know that at this point, the supply is more than the demand, because this is the supply curve and this is the demand curve. So when we have the price ceiling, the quantity supply is more than the quantity demanded. So what is the effect? Excess demand is generated. No, because at this point, supply is more than demand. That cannot be the answer. Excess supply occurs. Yes, because the excess supply, you can see from this quantity here, this is quantity supply and this is the quantity demand. So the quantity supply is more than the quantity demanded. We can see that it is excess supply. Excess supply. So what is the effect of imposing a price floor in the market? There will be excess supply. It will occur. Not hoarding of goods occurs. No. Not parallel market is created. So the perfect option is option B. Excess supply occurs. The next question. 62. When demand increases and supply is constant, what happens to the equilibrium? We can also explain this with the aid of diagram. We can also explain this with the aid of diagram. When demand increases and supply is constant. This is quantity. Now, I said the other time that this is equilibrium quantity, this is equilibrium price. They now said when demand increases and supply is constant. When we talk about increase in demand simply means the bodily shift of demand curve either to the right or to the left. Increase in supply simply means the bodily shift of supply curve either to the right or to the left. So they are now asking what is the impact when demand increases and supply is constant, we know that supply is constant, this is supply curve. What happens when demand increases, when demand and supply is constant? Demand increases. That means demand increases. It shifts outward. It shifts outward. This is another one. This is DODO, original. Then what happens to price? What happens to the new quantity? We can discover that this increases. The price also increases. You understand? Price increases from PE to P1, then from QE to Q1. So from this diagram, we'll discover that the price increases and at the same time, the quantity increases. So when we check the option, quantity will rise. No. Quantity will rise. We know that quantity will rise. Price will fall. Price will remain unchanged. Quantity will decrease. No, it is the quantity will rise. That is the perfect, because we can see it from here. Quantity actually rose from QE to Q1. When demand increases and supply, price will fall. Price did not fall. Price also increased, because there will be some questions they will ask you what happens to both. But you should know that when there is an increase in supply and when there is an increase in demand and quantity supply is constant, the effect is price will increase, quantity will also increase. So the perfect option is option A. The next question. A firm whose per unit cost of production begins to rise in the long run is experiencing a firm whose per unit cost of production begins to rise in the long run is experienced. Maybe what you have been using to produce a particular commodity, you know, for example, maybe it's $2. And as time goes on, in the long run, you are now using $5 to produce. Then something has actually happened. A low sales turnover. No. Diseconomies of scale. Diminishing returns to production. Increasing marginal. It is diseconomies of scale. And this can actually happen probably maybe when your business is becoming large and large, because a lot of things, a lot of factors will be considered. So in the long run, when per unit cost of production begins to rise, something has set in, which is called diseconomies of scale. So the perfect answer to that is B. The next question, 64. One advantage of division of labor is that division of labor is a common topic in economics, but one advantage of division of labor is that A, the use of machinery is made possible. Yeah, because most times when you talk about division of labor, you make use of machine. You understand? So that the work can be faster and a lot of things will be done as quick as possible. So risk of interdependence is increased. No. Addition in production is discouraged. No. In fact, it will be more standard when you apply division of labor in your whatever you are doing. Fewer workers get employed. No. The perfect option is the use of machinery is made possible in under division of labor. The next question, 65. The U shape of the marginal and average cost curves can be best explained in terms of the, now they are talking about marginal and average costs. Now said can be best explained in terms of the law of variable proportions. It can be best explained in terms of the law of variable proportions. Increasing returns, no. Demand and the law of supply, no. Diminishing marginal utility. It should have been diminishing marginal utility. They are talking about utility alone or probably something marginal. What they are saying can be best explained. Marginal and average cost. This is what they are talking about. Marginal and average cost. So it is the law of variable proportions. That's the perfect answer. The next question. When output is zero, total variable cost will be zero. When output is zero, you are not producing anything. Then what happens to the total variable cost? Automatically, total variable cost will be zero. So the perfect option is B, is zero. It can't increases rapidly. No. The perfect option is B. The next question. Which of the following business units usually belongs to the government? Which of the following business units usually belongs to the government? Statutory corporations, perfect answer to that. Then it can be sole proprietorship. I'm the owner of my business. I run it the way I like, you know. So that cannot be the answer. Cooperative societies, limited liability companies. So the perfect answer to this question is statutory corporations. The next question. In distributive trade, the producer can sometimes play the role of wholesaler. The producer can sometimes, I can produce my goods, at the same time distribute to those that will help me sell. So I can play two roles at the same time. I'm the one producing my good, and at the same time, I'm still supplying retailers. Because one of the functions of a wholesaler is to distribute to the retailer and from retailer to the final consumers. So I can play the role of a wholesaler if I'm also the producer. The next question. The natural growth rate of country's population is measured natural growth rate, not artificial, natural. Number of births minus net immigration. No. Total population minus number of deaths. C. Immigration rate minus immigration rate. D. Birth rate minus death rate. The perfect answer to this is birth rate minus death rate. Birth rate minus death rate, because it will give us the natural growth rate of a country's population. So it is measured by birth rate minus death rate. The next question. In the theory of population, Malthus' main concern was what? In the theory of population, Malthus' main concern was that population may outgrow means of subsistence. And that is true. Population is, as time goes on, in the next few years, the population may outgrow the means of subsistence. That is actually Malthus' concern. Positive and preventive checks will wipe out population. Population was growing at a geometric progression. So the perfect answer to this is that population may outgrow means of subsistence.